I'm hopping on here today to give a little advice to students who may be graduating soon. A little over a week ago, I was invited back to my college campus, Edgewood College. Professor Leigh Maxwell invited me back to speak to her communications class that will be graduating soon. So they're either going to be graduating in December here or they'll be graduating in May. The students expressed their stress, their anxiety, their overwhelming concerns of not being able to find a job, unsure of which jobs to apply for and which ones they may qualify for, and really just uncertainty of what they're going to be doing next. I had the opportunity to give advice and to share my first 2 years of experience out of college. Here's a few things that I told them. First and foremost, be open to change. The world, the economy, businesses, teams, they all change and evolve over time. And you need to make sure yourself as an individual are able to adapt to change. Don't ever reach a point where you're stuck in your own little bubble or you're stuck in your own ways of doing something. If you don't adapt, you won't stay relevant. So number one thing is to be open to change. Number two, be proactive. Be proactive when it comes to job hunting, be proactive when it comes to interviewing, and be proactive when you land a job. Let me break that down for you a little bit more. When interviewing, make sure that you're researching the company. Understand their mission statement and goals to ensure that it aligns with your personality and the type of company that you want to work for. Be proactive by understanding what interview questions may be asked depending on the role or the industry. Be proactive and come with questions to the interview and ask the recruiter or the interviewer questions. And then when you land a job, continue to stay proactive. Plan ahead, set goals, prioritize your work, become a master at problem solving, take action, responsibility, and don't dwell on your mistakes. Be self-motivated, be innovative, and seek out opportunities. The third thing that you can do is make connections and brand yourself internally and externally at a company. So first, let's talk about branding yourself externally. Make sure that you're making connections and branding yourself externally, especially on LinkedIn. It's not all about what you know, it's about who you know. And that's a very strong statement that holds true majority of the time. As I mentioned, LinkedIn is a great tool to brand yourself outside of your company. So make sure your LinkedIn account is up to date with a great photo as well as a great bio. Also add your work experience, schooling, certification, accomplishments, and skills on your profile. Other things you can also do on LinkedIn is post and share content, especially relevant content. Find and connect with people in your industry or in your field or in a field that you may be interested in. Be positive and engaging. Join groups on LinkedIn. Provide massive value in any way that you possibly can. Follow industry leaders. Show empathy, embrace vulnerability, and simply be yourself when posting on LinkedIn. What I mean by branding yourself internally is making a name for yourself at the company that you're working with. Say yes to opportunities at your company, speak up and give ideas during team meetings, ask a lot of questions, and be willing to share your successes as well as your failures. Networking beyond your immediate team that you work with is going to be super beneficial for you. Get to know others in different departments, in different groups, and amongst different teams. You never know when you're going to come across a great mentor, find your new best friend, or work with a team in the future, or maybe even join a team in the future. Like I said, be open to change. You never know when you're going to be working with a new team, or you're actually going to be put on a new team, or maybe you find a team that's more interesting to you than one that you're currently on. Other things that you can do to brand yourself internally at a company is start a committee or even join a committee. A lot of companies nowadays have happy hours, they have fitness groups, they might have moms that live in the same area that walk their dogs or their children. You never know. Other things you can do is be genuine and be a thought leader and be dependable. You never know when a team or teammate is going to need your help, and you never know when you will need to lean on someone else as well. Next, find what you like and find out what you don't like. Throughout your career, you'll discover what you like and what you don't like. At the start of career, you will probably learn quite a few of these details right off the bat. You might think you know what you like right now and find out that you actually don't want to take on those responsibilities, or you don't like doing those daily tasks. Maybe you don't like this job that you thought you would, or maybe you don't even want to be in that industry anymore. As well as on the flip side, you might think you dislike something right now, but you actually may discover liking it later on. Also, you most likely will not land your dream job right out of college. In fact, you might not even know what your dream job is. But just know once you start working, you should enjoy 90% of your job. There will always be probably up to 10% of your job that you don't like. However, if you do start disliking more than, let's say, 20% of your job, you should probably move on to something else, because you may not be benefiting your team. You may not be giving your all back to the company, and you may not be invested in that job or that opportunity anymore. My fifth tip, I think we're on number 5. Learn from your mistakes, learn from others, and learn from your success as well. Every day, ensure that you are taking away at least one thing that you learned. And that's going to be especially important your first 6 months in the job, your first year in the job, and throughout your entire career. Those learnings could be coming from your own mistakes. Those learnings could be coming from someone else's. Those learnings could be coming from something that you accomplished or succeeded, or maybe someone else's success. Another thing I want to mention with continuous learning is don't stop after this. Your learning and your education don't stop just because you're done with, high school or college or whatever it may be right now. You have the ability to gain knowledge and educate yourself your entire life. There are so many ways that you can improve yourself as a person and make yourself a valuable asset to a business or to a team. This could be learning a new language, becoming a real estate agent, learning a program you don't know yet, such as JavaScript. Maybe it's learning how to present or to public speak. Right now, I'm learning how to speak, edit, and improve the content and quality of my LinkedIn videos. There are so many free and cheap resources out there, such as podcasts, books, the LinkedIn Learning Portal, HubSpot Academy, networking events that you can learn from. There's literally an endless amount of knowledge, education, and material out there. Use it. Use it to your advantage. My next tip is to be patient, but be eager. You're not going to know everything right out of the gates. You most likely will not get a promotion within your first 3 months of working at a job. And you're not going to be starting off as a manager or a vice president at a company. So be patient with yourself and always continue to show eagerness and curiosity. Appeal to your passions, lead the path, and keep your doors open to opportunities. Demonstrate your willingness to grow and learn. Tip number 7. This is one that I really need to work on myself. Measure your success beyond work. Yes, you may now work, an 8 to 5 days a week. Yes, you may work weekends. Yes, you may work overtime. But understand you are also a human outside of work. You have friends, you have families, you may have, children of your own. You have other obligations than just work. So I encourage you to highlight and acknowledge your success outside of work. If you find success and happiness outside of work, that energy is going to actually carry into your work day and your work week. And vice versa. If you are happy at work, that should also carry over into your personal life, and you should, find a lot more happiness and success as well as positive energy in your personal life. Always celebrate your accomplishments, whether they're big or small. My next tip is don't compare your beginnings to someone else's middle. This is really important if you are starting off in a competitive industry or a very competitive team or job. You are not going to know everything on day 1 of the job. Heck, you're probably not going to know everything on day 30, 60, or maybe even 90 of the job. You're always going to be learning. You might be working with others who have been at the company or on the team for 6 months, 2 years, or 10 years, so they have some time on you. Do not compare your beginnings to someone else's middle. Understand your goals, where you want to be in your career, and maybe even follow in the footsteps of a role model. But don't become discouraged, especially when comparing yourself to someone else. Okay, I have 2 tips left. Tip number 9, ask for and be receptive to feedback. Always ask your managers as well as your coworkers for feedback. You don't know what you don't know. I always ask these types of questions in my one-on-one meetings. Do you have any feedback on my work? What can I be doing better? How can I prepare myself for the next project or the next step? How can I support you and your team? And is there anything that I can be doing differently? Be open to feedback and use it to improve your skills and quality of work. Last and final tip, do things that make you uncomfortable. You will learn the most about yourself and you will learn the most in life when you are actually uncomfortable. When you put yourself through and you get yourself through uncomfortable situations, you will grow the most as an individual and in your career. Trust me on that one. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. That wraps it. I hope this video reaches students who are in the same position as Professor Leigh's class of graduating students. If you view this video, please feel free to share it with recent graduates or soon-to-be graduating students. Thank you, Professor Maxwell, for giving me the opportunity to speak to your communications class at Edgewood College last week.